Brazil, and this is obviously drafting a business plan with me. So let's go ahead and get started with me. Okay, so purpose and nature. Um, well, we talked about business plans in class, so I'll just go in to tell you what mine is. The business I decided to partake in is called Zillie's Museum of Photography. And oh, it'll act as a photography warehouse where you can take pictures, but also it has pre-made rooms already where you can take pictures as well, but not like the plain studio from going to a photography studio. And I would like to think of it as a photography studio in a mix of like a museum. But if you guys can't visualize it, I provided like some pictures to give you an idea of what I mean. So these are a couple images of other companies that we'll talk about later, but that's kind of like the idea that is in my head that I'm going for. So markets, since I like to call it a mixture of museum culture with photography studio, it would the target markets would be the museum market as well as photography. And the museum is a $12 billion industry, while photography is a $10 billion industry, and they grow about 2% every year. So technology we'll need is definitely cameras. One thing about Zillie's Museum of Photography that we offer that regular photography studios don't is the ability to rent out cameras and equipment. If you're a photographer and you don't have your own, you can still be able to take pictures and work using our equipment, as well as editing, computers, and lighting and everything. You basically, if you have nothing, you can still start your photography business. So other than the owner, we're gonna need a president, vice president, executive museum assistant, and they're like the assistants to the president and the vice president, a museum manager, and a creative director. So yeah. Okay, goals. So for Zillie's Museum of Photography, um, I want to be able to service at least 500 photographers or videographers, and I guess service or meet 250,000 customers within the first 5 years, and expand locations within the first 2 years. A lot of companies that are similar, they do sort of like exhibits to where they're in a city for a certain amount of time and then they pick up and go to a different city. But this would start off in one area, being Atlanta, and then eventually stay here but also move to different areas instead of picking up everything and just leaving. Uh, so that's one of the goals. And as a financial goal, I want to be able to make a return on investment, obviously, and then make $10 million. Not a set date, but just in general. So getting to the money. Um, when it comes to acquiring like the funds, we're gonna go with debt because it's more short term, and equity is it comes with shares and everything, and that's not, sorry, it's raining, but equity isn't the way we want to go in the first few years with having shares and everything. So debt is the type of financing we would do. So who's seeing us? Some competition, or I wouldn't consider it competition, but inspiration for Zillie's Museum of Photography include 29 rooms, the Color Factory, Happy Place, Candytopia, which was actually in Atlanta this past summer, I think. Dream Machine, which is based in New York, the Museum of Selfies, as well as the Museum of Illusion and Egg House. And some of them were pictured when I showed you the pictures a couple slides ago. So, um, breaking barriers. The main barrier is just to stay in business. That's the main goal. And one moment. Okay. So the main barrier is just staying in business. Since Atlanta hasn't been introduced to something like this more permanently, because like I just stated, Candytopia was here, but since they haven't experienced something like this on a consistent basis that would be here for hopefully a long time, the main goal is just to stay in business and just knowing that the statistics of businesses increase, like the odds to fail increase as you go on in business. That's just the main goal, is to stay in business. So which entity? Zillie's Museum of Photography would start as a LLC, and depending on how fast it grows would increase when we change over to something else that includes something like having shares. So we'll start off as an LLC and grow as we grow, or allow people to come in as the years go by and everything increases. No Wesley Snipes. The reason I called it this is because Wesley Snipes was arrested for tax evasion, and I plan on paying my taxes for whoever's listening. But yeah, we plan to, of course, have partners, even being an LLC, and that's just the person, whoever becomes the president and vice president will obviously, aside from me, be partners. And file a 1065, followed by Schedule K1, and yeah, so we plan on paying our taxes. But that's the end of the PowerPoint. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys could visualize the image of what I was trying to get at with the Museum of Photography. And yeah, these are the sources, and everybody stay at home.